Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Great Day Houston. Over the years, we've had a lot of surprising revelations from celebrities on the show. We have another one for you this morning from Billy Bob Thornton. Most of us know him as an actor, starring in movies like Friday Night Lights, Bad Santa, and the film he won an Oscar for, Sling Blade.
Being perfect is about being able to look your friends in the eye and know that you didn't let them down.
If you were Santa, you could do magic.
You want to see some magic? Here, let's watch you disappear.
Yes, sir. Well, I darn near made me a touchdown. And then I seen them boys bearing down on me, figured I better give it off to you there. I seen you following me.
Well, it turns out Billy Bob is also a singer. He has a band, the Boxmasters, and they'll play in Tomball tonight for a concert at MainStreetCrossing. I caught up with Billy and Grammy Award-winning bandmate J.D. Andrew. Billy Bob started in rural Arkansas, but is no stranger to the Houston area. Some of his early concert tours took place here, so he's excited to come back. Billy, you are one of those people, as in it seems like you can do anything that you put your mind to. You were a great baseball player and even considered that as a living at one point. What changed?
Broken collarbone. And I mean, JD and I are both still huge baseball fans, and there you go.
Yeah,
and,
you'll be coming to baseball country in a little bit here.
Exactly. And but yeah, I mean, we both played in high school and then after, and I was a junk pitcher, and I was pretty decent one, but I got injured and then hit the road with a rock and roll band and never looked back.
Yeah, and really music was your first love. We know you as a great actor, obviously, Sling Blade, Friday Night Lights, Bad Santa, Monsters Ball, but music was the thing that was kind of your first love, wasn't it?
I started in music when I was a little kid. I mean, I was in bands from the time I was around 12, and then, I was in a regionally popular band that used to open for a lot of name acts and stuff. And we played a lot in Texas, actually, back then. And I lived in Houston for a couple of years there, out in Tomball, and which was nothing in those days. I mean, nothing was out there, really. A couple of, housing developments and some car lots. And
well, that was almost big city for you, though, because you were, you started out in rural Arkansas.
Yes, I was born in Hot Springs, but that was only because they didn't have a hospital in Alpine.
All right, JD, you're a Kansas native. You bonded with Billy. Yep. You played the guitar in college, moved to Cashville as an aspiring singer, and then you had a revelation.
Yeah, I just wanted to make records. And, in central Kansas, there's not much of a music industry. So, yeah, I went to Nashville and was there for a couple of years, and a friend said if I really wanted to learn to make records, I needed to move to LA. And so the woman that gave me my first job in LA ended up being Billy's music manager several years later. Found out we had a lot of similar interests in music and started recording just us together.
You're a Grammy-winning sound engineer. You worked on albums for Kanye, Rolling Stones, Guy Clark. You recorded mixes for TV and film, and so you found your niche.
No, I totally did. But mainly the thing that I do for the last 16 or 17 years is work with Billy on our band. And we record constantly, and thankfully with, our backgrounds with doing a lot of different things, we don't need other people to help us. So we can record the records ourselves, we can play all the parts, and if something else needs done, we figure out how to do it.
Billy, how'd you all come up with the name Boxmasters?
That's a very interesting story, maybe not for television.
I'll meet you in Tomball at a bar after you're done, and we'll discuss it.
Yeah, no, it's actually, we wanted a name that sounded like, since we're so influenced by the bands of the 1960s, we wanted a name and a logo that reflected the 1960s. And there was a band called the Box Tops out of Memphis, and so, we always liked that name. And then, so we took Box from that and Master from another thing, Master of Recording, his master's voice, like RCA. And we just put those together. We're a rock and roll band that's influenced by the 60s, very influenced by the Beatles and the Byrds.
But also, very based in the South, you know, Southern literature and music thing flowing through it as well.
It's authentic and organic, as you touched on. You've opened for Willie Nelson, Kid Rock, Steve Miller, but you got to perform at the Grand Ole Opry. JD, what was that like?
There's certain places that you play that you just can't help feeling ill before you go on the stage, and the Grand Ole Opry is one of them.
She wants to go over that mountain to see what's on the other side.
We played the Ryman with Levon Helm one time, and I literally thought I was going to throw up the whole time we were getting ready to go on.
You want to make a connection with people who might not have access, you know, to going to all those bigger cities. So you make a point of going to smaller towns like Tomball, which is not too far from the big city of Houston. But you think it's important to go to those small towns and give them a good concert and a good show as well.
We'll play a place, a rock club that's 200 or 300 people, and then we played in Los Alamos, New Mexico the other night at an outdoor show, and there were 8,500 people. You know, so it's all over the map, you know, where we play, and they all have something about them we like, you know, but it is nice to get into the, you know, some of the towns that are off the beaten path, you know, because, you know, I mean, where I grew up, you know, you would have to go to Memphis. People have to drive 2 or 3 hours to Memphis, or if you lived up in the Northwest, you had to drive into Little Rock. And, you know, it's nice to hit these towns because some of them have wonderful facilities.
Yeah. No matter who you're playing in front of, the thing is, you all don't change. You still have a good time. You still give them a good show. All right, Billy, your nickname is Bud when you're up on the stage, kind of like, you know, Beyonce is Sasha Fierce. You got to have your nickname. So you'll have a lot of people screaming Bud up there. But right now, go ahead and say hello to all of your Texas family, because you know you got some extra cousins now that you're on TV. People will be like, you know, Billy Bob, we was cousins because his cousin's uncle's sister.
Every city.
Yeah, you know, every city you got some family members. So go ahead and say good morning, Bud. You said you spent time in Texas. Say good morning to all of them right now.
Hey, everybody in Texas, all my actual cousins and extended family. I'm Bud. This is JD. We're the Boxmasters, and we'll be coming through your state pretty soon.
Gentlemen, thank you for spending some time with us before your next concert date here in Texas. And I meant it. I'm serious. After you're done, come off the stage, wipe the sweat off your brow. I'll meet you at the bar in Tomball.
You got it.
Wonderful. Thanks, Deborah.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The Boxmasters with Billy Bob Thornton and JD Andrew are playing at MainStreetCrossing in Tomball tonight and tomorrow night. Tickets are still available online, so visit Great Day Houston for more information. Also, I'll let you know if I do find the other story behind the band's name.